Today's referee, Steve Stevenson. Official, David Shirley. And official, Steve Bowles. Once again, let's have a nice round of applause for these outstanding officials of this championship game. And now, let's meet the teams for this Eastern Regional Championship game with the starting lineup. For the visiting Lejeune Devil Pups with a 25-4 record. A 5'9" junior, number 11, Chad Thomas. A 5'10" senior, number 12, Corey Price. A 5'10" junior, number 30, Derek Williams. A 6'8" senior, number 40, Jacon Grimes. And a 6'5" junior, number 42, Colin Eric. Head coach of the Devil Pups, Doug Ernie, assistant Hugh Miller. And now for the home team, Williamston Tigers, with a 22-6 record. A 5'9" junior, number 12, Roosevelt Freeman. A 5'9" junior, number 20, Daniel Everett. A 5'11" senior, number 32, Chris Haller. A 6'3" senior, number 44, Larry McEacher. And a 6'4" junior, number 54, Curtis Cofield. Head coach of Williamston, Steve Gilmore. Assistant, McKinley Williams.
That was public address announcer Jeff Diamond with the starting lineups. You're watching exclusive coverage of the 1A Eastern Regional High School Championship on WCTI TV 12. Play has already started. The opening tap went to Lejeune, and they immediately score a basket. Lejeune grabs an early 2-0 lead. Chad Thomas gets it off the opening tap and gets the lay-in, and now Williamston with the basketball. They try a three, and it goes.
Chris, Lejeune came out in their 3-2 matchup zone. Expect that. Expect Williamston to challenge it with some three-point shots.
Right back the other way. The shot is blocked, and Williamston quickly back the other way. They have a 2-2 tie. Driving all the way, Chad Everett misses the shot. Collis Eric gets the rebound.
Chris, this is not how Lejeune wanted to start it off. They want to slow it down and play the half-court game. This is playing right into the hands of the Williamston tempo.
Chad Thomas with the basketball out top. Almost the steal, and now making the steal. And back the other way, Daniel Everett all the way, and he misses the layup. Rebound follow is good by Roosevelt Freeman.
Well, Williamston's come out pressing, and look at them. They're back in the press right here. They're going to trap. The good defense by Everett. Another steal, Chris.
Everett with yet another steal. Haler lays it in.
Here comes the pressure again. That's what they want. That's what they have to do. Lejeune has got to get the ball across the court in order to break this press.
Yet another turnover for Lejeune, and Williamston has the basketball.
Chris, this is not the way Doug Ernie wanted to start the game for Lejeune. They've got to slow the ball down. They've got to get some crisp passes. That's the only way to beat the traps.
Mike, we talked about the full court pressure that Williamston will use so far. It is working very effectively. Looks soon for Lejeune maybe to go to the big guy to bring it up. Shot inside, up and in.
Chris, Steve Gilmore told me before the game that they were going to go right at the big men of Lejeune. They're not intimidated, even though they have a size disadvantage.
That's Curtis Cofield with the basket, and there's what we were talking about. Jacon Grimes, the 6'8" center, brings it up the floor and gets it down low. The shot, no, but the foul.
That's exactly what Lejeune needs to do. They need to slow it up. They got to pound it into their big guys, Jacon Grimes and Collis Eric. They've got to draw fouls and go inside.
Derek Williams will go to the free throw line for Lejeune. He'll have 2 shots. 5:53 to go in this first quarter, and already Williamston has jumped out to a 6-point lead.
This game has started off exactly the way Steve Gilmore hoped it would. He hoped his team would come out pressuring. He hoped that they would continue to push on defense and create on offense off of those steals, and that's exactly what's happened thus far, Chris.
Derek Williams hits the first one. It's a 5-point lead now for Williamston. A second shot off the back of the rim, rebound Chad Everett.
Here comes the running.
Everett quickly across the timeline. Haler in the corner, doesn't have the shot. Everett will reset the offense. Lejeune will start in a 2-3 zone. And there's the steal. Back the other way comes Chad Thomas, lays it in.
Well, now Lejeune gets a chance to create off of their defense. They're in a 3-2 matchup zone. They're going to have a floater, a guy chasing, and that's exactly what happened as Chad Thomas came over and picked it up and used the good hands in for the layup.
Cross-court pass to Everett. He'll try a three off the front of the rim. Rebound down low for Williamston. Reverses blocked by Jacon Grimes. He almost gets another one. The tap follow is good.
Not a good sign for Lejeune. Williamston is very size disadvantaged in this game, and if they can get offensive rebounds like that, it might be a long day for Lejeune.
Back the other way is Kolasaric. His shot is blocked, but he's fouled.
Kolasaric is some athlete, Chris. At 6'6", he can run the floor. We've seen him move the ball already. This guy is a heck of a basketball player. He can do it all for Lejeune.
Kolasaric, the 6'5" junior forward, is averaging 11.5 points a game, 12.3 rebounds.
It's a real good front line Lejeune has with Kolasaric and Jacon Grimes. They're going to try to utilize that as much as possible as they have throughout the year. Doug Ernie told me before the game that Lejeune has good guards that can hit the outside shot, but why bother hitting it when you can get it inside for the easy two? And they've got two guys they can do that with.
Derek Williams is checked out of the basketball game, and Donnell Manson has checked in. Collis makes the first free throw. It's a 4-point lead for Williamston.
You get the feeling that Lejeune came out a little bit nervous, but they're back in their rhythm right now, and I think both teams are going to settle down, and these next few minutes are going to determine the tempo of the first half.
Second free throw off the front of the rim. Back the other way, it's Chad Everett. He will make it happen for the Williamston Tigers. Leads the press defensively and also leads offensively. With the basketball now, Roosevelt Freeman. He will give back to Daniel Everett. Daniel will reset the offense.
It looks like they're trying to get into a set play here. They're trying to waste a little time, trying to do exactly what they hope to do on offense, try to force Lejeune out, and they can open up the inside a little bit. Look for some kind of a set play with a back screen coming up.
Williamston does not want Lejeune to stay in that 3-2 zone, and now Lejeune is going to come out of it. Daniel Everett with the basketball, and now Williamston is running an offensive set. Freeman on the baseline, misses the shot, followed, no, and rebound pulled off by Manson. He loses it, picked up by Freeman. Freeman back out to Everett. He will kick it out. Haler will try a three off the back of the rim. Rebound follow is good.
But Chris, I'm really amazed at the way Williamston's attacking the boards. As we talked about throughout the game so far, they're at a size disadvantage, and they're really going after it on the glass.
All alone underneath. Chad Thomas has it blocked. Manson with the follow. This is unusual for Lejeune to have someone go inside at them. Chad Thomas nearly makes the steal, knocks it out of bounds.
Almost runs you over at the same time, huh?
I was right there.
I saw you had the hands up, didn't you?
Our producer on the floor, Robert Graham, bailed out badly on that one. It will be Williamston basketball. Their lead has been trimmed to 4. 3:20 to go in the first quarter.
Well, Steve Gilmore stopped with the mental tricks, trying to pull them out.
Freeman misses the three, and the rebound comes off to Lejeune. Here now, Chad Thomas in the paint. Nice pass to Kolasaric.
That's a pretty basketball play there. Chad Thomas running the floor. He had his eyes up the entire way. For a young basketball player, that's exactly what you do. You keep your eyes up and see the cutter.
We will have to fit in a commercial break here in just a little bit. We will try as best we can not to miss any action. Williamston with the basketball. Their lead is now down to 2. And they'll go inside, right back to Freeman. And there in the corner, Everett. The shot rolls out. Rebound follow is good. Jack Hardison has checked into the basketball game and scores 2 there. 14-10, the lead for Williamston.
Steve Gilmore's got to be very pleased at the way his team's attacking the glass at this juncture.
Jacon Grimes, the guy that has been doing it all offensively for Lejeune this season. The rebound follow, no, and Williamston comes away with it. Daniel Everett across, nice pass, and gets it right back. The shot high off the glass, nothing. Rebound comes off to Jacon Grimes.
What a nice rebound there. 3 men hanging all over him.
Foul is called. We'll take a commercial break. You're watching exclusive coverage of the 1A Eastern Regional High School Championship on TV 12.
Right now, save 33 to even 70% off closeout prices. That's a lot of green for St. Patty's Day. It's the St. Patrick's Day Clearance Center sale. This cherry bedroom from Hart, dresser, mirror, chest, and headboard, $199. This recliner from National Furniture is St. Patty's price, just $69. It's king coil for a good night's rest. Twin, full, or queen, your choice. One price, $57.
14-12, Williamston has the lead over Lejeune. Jacon Grimes will be going to the free throw line to shoot 2 shots, and the opportunity now for Lejeune to tie the game.
Chris, the way I see things right now, I'd like your opinion on this. It seemed as if Williamston came out playing exactly the way they wanted to, and it looked like they were dominating the game. The score is only a 1-point lead at this juncture for Williamston, but you got to get the feeling that Lejeune's feeling really good about things.
Lejeune seems to have that full court pressure solved to a certain extent because they put that guy right there, Jacon Grimes, in to break the press. At 6'8", he may be the best ball handler on this basketball team. Foul down low on Danielle Manson. Danielle Manson with the foul. 14-13, Williamston with the lead. We are down now to a minute to go in the first quarter. High off the backboard, that was supposed to be a pass. And leading the break now, Jacon Grimes, the lead pass. And no, Grimes with the follow, got it, he's fouled.
What an athletic play by Jacon Grimes. He brings the ball up, passes it off, gets it back on a nice pass. What a nice play by Jacon Grimes. If we can look at that one more time, Grimes leading the break and getting the foul. First time Williamston has trailed in this ball game.
Grimes at the free throw line for 1, and he misses it. Rebound, Manson, and it's swatted away. Picked back up for Lejeune. The shot thrown up, nothing. Colasaric, the follow, got it.
Colasaric in great position. Nobody boxed him out. He came across the baseline and put it right back.
Oh, Lejeune has made a comeback here in the first quarter. They're back in a 3-2. They have the lead now, and they can stay in that. Freeman gets it down low. Travel, no call. Rebound, Eric clears it away. 3-point lead for Lejeune, and 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. Jacon Grimes creates. Colasaric travels with the basketball.
Williamston is staying in that man-to-man defense, and right now Lejeune is able to capitalize on that with their size advantage with the 6'5" Colasaric and the 6'8" Jacon Grimes. The man to watch here on defense for Lejeune is number 41, Donnell Manson. He's the chaser. There's a 3-2 zone, and Manson is going to run around and chase the ball.
Everett tries the low and banks it in.
I did not hear him call glass. He's right in front of me, Chris.
We played 1 quarter of basketball. We're tied at 17. You're watching exclusive coverage of the 1A Eastern Regional High School Championship on WCTI TV 12. Coliseum, we're all tied at 17 in the 1A Eastern Regional Championship game. The winner goes to Chapel Hill to play for the 1A State Championship. Williamston in gold and green trim, and the Lejeune Devil Pups in red with the blue trim. Williamston on offense. That's Daniel Everett on the baseline. Got it.
Now the man to watch here for the Lejeune defense is Corey Price, who has checked in for Donnell Manson. He is the chaser.
Quickly, Lejeune back the other way. Chad Thomas misses. Rebound pulled off by Roosevelt Freeman. He'll give to Everett, and Everett will lead the attack. Thought about the three again. Now he'll try Freeman. Gets it down low, and they go right at the big guys. And Colasaric pulls it away.
Boy, did he clear those boards. He just grabbed that thing. He's a good rebounder.
Colasaric averaging in double figures rebounding. Chad Thomas with a nice move and gets it back. He'll try a three. Misses everything. Daniel Everett quickly back the other way across the timeline. got Curtis Cofield, who'll get it right back. They swing it around.
He walked, yeah.
Larry McEachran there with the travel, turns it over. Lejeune gets it back. They have a 2-point lead.
Chris, with the way that Williamston started tempo, it's kind of amazing to realize now at this point that both teams have turned the ball over 4 times.
Williamston's zone press has turned into a man-to-man full court press. Lejeune breaks it, gets it down low, foul, no call. Quickly back the other way, Williamston. Roosevelt Freeman working the baseline, gives it up to Cofield. Nice play, misses the shot.
Pretty pass by Roosevelt there. That should have been converted. You got to convert it when you get the ball to the big man down on the blocks.
Chad Thomas works and gives it off to Corey Price. Saved and picked up by Curtis Cofield. Daniel Everett. Oh, they're going to call a block.
Chris, Daniel Everett is the key to this Williamston basketball team. He can shoot the 3. He's the one that makes everything happen. He is the catalyst. At risk of using a cliche, just watch him, number 20 on the basketball court, the man with the ball right now.
He has made it happen for this basketball team all season long. He will start every offensive set when he's in the basketball game. Williamston trailing by 2, try to get it to Cofield. They can't do it. Collis Eric, good defense down low for Collis.
Chris, we talked in the pregame about Williamston wanting the game in the 80s, Lejeune wanting it in the 60s. It got off the way Williamston wanted it, but now it's in Lejeune's favor.
Great steal, Roosevelt Freeman, and an even better lay-in.
Well, I take it back, as Williamston creates right there on the turnover. That's where they're successful, getting the turnover, scoring, and setting up their defense.
Here comes Jacon Grimes. That's what he does best. Williamston with the basketball, and it is Williamston holding on to the 2-point lead. Freeman will try a 3. No. Rebound. Guess who? Daniel Everett. And he gets the shot.
Chris, I'm really impressed with Daniel Everett. He can do it all. He's even getting inside the paint.
23-19 now. Williamston with the lead.
5'9", and he's lightning, the junior.
Jacon Grimes on the baseline and gets the roll.
Steve Gilmore all over the officials wanting a 3-second count on the Lejeune big man.
9 points so far for Grimes. Thrown out of bounds, will go back the other way.
Well, Lejeune's got to be happy with the way things are going, Chris. Tempo has turned around. Lejeune's bringing men in and out. They're keeping them fresh. They're keeping the half-court game going the way they hope. They've got a lead right now. They've got to be happy right now, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, Williamston still with a 2-point lead, but Lejeune has been able to solve the press to a certain extent. See if they can keep it up. Jacon Grimes still the best guy they've got to break that press. Half-court man-to-man now picked up. They go right down low, and there's Jacon Grimes again.
You get the feeling that Jacon Grimes is getting ready to take over this ball game, Chris.
11 points now for the 6'8 senior, and we're tied at 23.
Been a well-played game so far. Both teams relatively staying out of foul trouble. As I open my big mouth, one is called. But you've got to like the way the game's being played right now. Good, clean game so far. A costly foul for Jacon Grimes. He reaches in there. Not something he wants to do, getting into foul trouble. Nice look there by our camera people on the foul as Ollie Shepard gets fouled.
Williamston will have the basketball, tied at 23. 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. We will be breaking for a timeout here in a couple minutes. Down low, the basket goes to Ollie Shepard.
That's a nice play there for Williamston. Nice, quick, crisp passing. That is the key right there, especially when Lejeune is going to pack it in on that zone.
The half-court zone trap goes to a half-court trap, and look at that shot. Chad Thomas almost gets it to go. Curtis Cofield lets it fly. Back the other way comes Williamston. Here's Daniel Everett.
Oh, is he beautiful to watch.
We're going to take a commercial break now. You're watching exclusive coverage of the 1A Eastern Regional High School Championship on WCTI TV 12, the news leader. Williamston had the basketball, could not get a basket, and Lejeune back the other way. Manson is fouled.
I like the way this Lejeune team plays. Everybody has a role. Doug Ernie's got this team playing well within themselves. Let's take a look at that play one more time as you see the ball getting inside to the big guy for Lejeune, Donnell Manson. He gets fouled, tries to convert it, doesn't, but he gets to go to the free throw line and shoot a pair.
Curtis Cofield is slow getting up. He seems okay. I might have caught one in the eye. He's coming off the court now. Checking into the basketball game, Larry McEachran. And going to the free throw line, Donnell Manson. For Lejeune, they trail by 2, 25-23.
Getting back to what I was saying a second ago, Chris, everybody on this Lejeune team has a great role. Collis Eric goes in there and clears the boards. Jacon Grimes can do it all. Chad Thomas and Corey Price create. They've got great guys coming off the bench. Doug Ernie plays 10 men. You've got Donnell Manson, who's on the free throw line right now, coming in playing a role. This is a well-oiled machine that Lejeune has.
Jack Hardison checks in for Williamston as Donnell Manson makes the first free throw. He has 3 points so far in tonight's ball game, today's ball game. It will be tonight by the time you see it. Second free throw is no good, and Williamston has a 1-point lead.
Here comes Everett.
Everett picks up his dribble at the top of the key, still with it, and gets it right back. He'll try the 3. Didn't need the backboard this time, didn't get it. Chad Thomas breaks from the pack.
Chris, the thing you got to like about Chad Thomas, he's a good finisher. He's been picking up the balls and taking it right at the hole and finishing, something that's very important and very overlooked in high school basketball.
Chad Thomas, offensive-minded when he gets that basketball right to the hole and gets the basket. And here he goes again. Outlet pass. Corey Price misses the layup.
Well, you see how important finishing is. Great outlet pass, though.
Great defense from Chad Thomas. Daniel Everett threw about every move he had, and Thomas didn't move.
The Lejeune bench wanted to travel. It's just a fact of Everett just shaking and baking and faking everybody out.
Everett gives off the pass. The shot is missed. The rebound is pulled off by Jacon Grimes.
I think the quicker you are, the more often you look like you're traveling. I've never had that problem, though.
2-on-1 for Williamston. No basket.
I'll tell you what, I'd like to look at that one again if we have the opportunity. It looked like they had a charge. Let's take a look at that one more time as Ollie Shepard is coming right at Chad Thomas. The pass, and Chad Thomas, wow. That's a judgment call. It looked to me like that could have been a charge, Chris.
I'll go with the officials on that. There, it is not a shooting foul.
You know, Williamston's yet to shoot a free throw this game. A vocal crowd behind us from Williamston.
We got a technical foul called on Chad Thomas. Chad didn't think he was fouled. He voiced it just a little too loud to the official, and it cost him a tee.
Well, Chris, I agree with him. I thought he had his feet set. I really did think it was a charge. Of course, you got to go with what the officials say, and you don't want to hurt your team by saying something that you shouldn't. But I think he's got a good case, as the replay just showed.
Anthony Slade misses the first one and misses the second one. Well, if that call did anything, it got the Lejeune crowd even more into the basketball game. Lejeune has a 1-point lead, 1:20 to go.
Watch for Thomas to try and create something to pick up his teammates. He feels bad about the tee.
He almost gets a steal there. Everett trying to dribble through everyone and throws it away.
Nice defense by Lejeune. That's exactly the way it should be played. That is exactly how the 3-2 matchup zone is designed. You keep helping and helping and helping the helper, and eventually something good's going to happen, like a bad pass.
Perfect defense for a guy like Daniel Everett, too. Guy wants to penetrate, he wants to create, but everywhere he goes, there's someone there.
And that's exactly, as you said, he's a quick penetrator, and that's exactly what he does. He creates. And watch the play here inside to Jacon Grimes. Jacon taking it to the hole And almost scoring and almost finishing. Jacon Grimes is dangerous around the blocks, and away from the blocks for that matter.
His team has a 1-point lead, and Jacon will step to the free throw line, averaging 22.5 points a game.
Well, we talked about the slow tempo that Lejeune wanted. No one has scored until that free throw for over 2 minutes. So the game is going to be in a low score, and that's exactly what Lejeune's hoping for, and that's exactly what Williamston is not hoping for.
12 points as he misses the second one. Manson tries again, and it's swatted out of bounds. Oh, the big guy on that one, Jack Hardison.
Jack Hardison said, get that mess out of here. He would have been better served tapping it to a teammate, though.
Jacon Grimes with 12 points and the basketball. His team leads by 2.
Watch as he penetrates. 3 men collapse on him. Believe me, Williamston is well aware of Jacon Grimes.
Curtis Cofield will pick up the foul. Derek Williams will go to the free throw line. Williams, as he's going up for the shot, Cofield got him on the arm.
Just a little bit of skin there attached to the ball.
Derek Williams at the free throw line for Lejeune, 5'10" junior. Got it.
Chris, you've got to feel like Lejeune's feeling good about things right now.
The full court press, Mike, hasn't bothered him as much, especially after the first couple minutes. They have a 3-point lead, make it 4.
It seems that once they got over the jitters and once they, as you said, able to handle the full court press, now they're in their game and they're playing the way they hope to.
Williamston with the basketball, and just inside the 3-point line, Anthony Slade tries it, and he's fouled.
That's
Donnell
a tough
Manson.
foul. Chris, coaches hate when you foul a jump shooter like that, especially out near the 3-point arc. It's only a 2-point shot. It's the toughest possible 2-point shot there is, right inside the arc. You get a hand in his face, and coaches just hate that.
Anthony Slade will go to the free throw line, checking out Donnell Manson. Checking in for Lejeune is Ray Parther.
Williamston trying to cut into Lejeune's biggest lead of the game so far, which is 4 points, and they do.
39 seconds to go in the first quarter. Slade misses the first free throw. And the second.
Collis Eric just clearing the boards, Chris. What a role he plays for this team.
Parther's just checked in, has the basketball, gets to Collis Eric. And he's fouled.
Oh, did he get pounded? Let's take another look at that one as Curtis Cofield just comes over and just slams Collis Eric. Eric goes to the line to shoot 2.
Boy, Collis Eric takes up so much room inside, defensively, offensively.
The best part about having Collis Eric on your team is you're paying so much attention to Jacon Grimes, so that when Collis Eric uses that big 6'6" body, or 6'5" body, how he's listed, he looks 6'6" to me, he can really do something, and right there is an example of it, getting inside, grabbing the board, and going to the line.
Collis misses the first free throw. He'll have one more. 28 seconds to go in the second quarter. Lejeune with a 3-point lead. It stays there. Cofield up high for the rebound. Here's Daniel Everett. Trying to create, trying to penetrate. And that offensive possession was all Daniel Everett.
Chris, Daniel Everett can do everything. He just penetrates and makes things happen. You hate to use that word catalyst, but that's exactly what he is. Watch him go inside. Jacon Grimes doesn't have position. They have someone come over and help. Everett hangs in the air and gets fouled.
Ollie Shepard, there you saw with the foul, the bottom part of your screen, as he just shoved Collis Eric, now check that, Corey Price to the floor. Price will now go to the free throw line to shoot the 1-and-1.
Well, that's an interesting call. It was a good pickup on your part. Usually those away from the ball pushes are tough to pick up with just 2 referees out there, 3 referees.
Corey's got the first one. The lead is 4. 16 seconds to go in this first half of play. Second one off the front of the rim. Daniel Everett, 2-on-2. Down low, great pass. Roosevelt Freeman loses the basketball, gets it back. It's blocked by Jacon Grimes and picked right back by Daniel Everett. He blew the layup.
A wild flurry at the end, Chris.
We played 2 quarters of basketball. Lejeune has a 4-point lead. You're watching exclusive coverage of the 1A Eastern Regional High School Championship on WCTI TV 12, the news leader. Welcome back, everyone, to Minges Coliseum. Chris Justice, Mike Small with you for the 1A Eastern Regional Championship game. Lejeune has a 4-point lead, 30-26 at the break. And, Mike, anything surprise you about the first half?
Well, it really did. Williamston came out exactly the way they wanted to. They had the press going. Lejeune had a hard time handling it. But I'm really surprised at the way Lejeune was able to come back. They got into their game. It didn't take them very long. They got the flow going, and they really had a great second quarter. The game was tied at 17 after 1. They hold Williamston to just 9 points in the second quarter, and thus the 4-point lead at the half.
Jacon Grimes, a big reason that Lejeune has the lead. He scored 12 points. But another guy that we talked about, Collis Eric, who's averaging double figures in rebounds, we saw why in the first half. He's all over the board.
You know, it's just so hard not to pay attention to Jacon Grimes. And when that's happening, 2 or 3 men, they have to be aware of him. There's just no doubt about it. You can't win any other way. And that frees up Collis Eric, who's a big, strong guy and knows how to use his body. He gets to the glass, and he's doing a great job.
Mike and I will be back with more from Minges Coliseum. We're at halftime, the Hastings Ford halftime report. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back. Hastings Ford, where you always find your keys to satisfaction.
Easily the key to satisfaction had to be Jacon Grimes in that first half, you would think.
Jacon Grimes, who had 12 points in that first half, also scoring Collis Eric with 7 points. The keys to the game, we said, coming in again, the full court press. Again, Lejeune looks like they've got it solved. However, you've got Daniel Everett for Williamston, who still, this guy will want to do it one-on-one with anybody. Do you think that he can break loose, or is that 3-2 defense just too much for him?
The way it's gone right now, it's been too much for him. They're very aware of Daniel Everett. He's been awesome. But the defense has been even better if that's possible. They're being able to collapse on him. He was able to do his damage in the first period. Lejeune made the adjustments on him. Let's see if they can make the adjustments at halftime the other way for Williamston to free him up.
Daniel Everett had 7 points, and 3 of those coming off a banked shot from the top of the key with time running out in the quarter. That's not exactly the way you draw it up, but he is a guy that's got to get going in the second half, I think, for Williamston to have a chance in this game.
Oh, I would have to agree with you, Chris. We talked as far as the keys to the game go. My key to the game before the game was the scoring. If it was in the 60s, you had to think that Lejeune was on top with the advantage. And if it was in the 80s or so, Williamston definitely had the advantage. At this juncture, if the game finished up right now, it would be in the high 50s.
Here's been the thing that's been working so well for Lejeune as Jacon Grimes breaks the press himself and then finishes. When you've got a guy 6'8" in high school basketball that can break a press and then finish when he gets there, you've got a special player. That's what they've got in Jacon Grimes.
You've got so many problems with Jacon Grimes, even just getting him the ball on the blocks, because you've got to pay such good attention to him. He's so good. When he's bringing the ball off, you just don't know how to defense that. Coach Gilmore is going to have to really do some work at halftime for Williamston.
6 points, second half now. If you're Williamston, what do you do?
That's a real good question. What I would try to do is set more picks and try to free Everett up. Maybe get the ball out of his hands as a point guard and maybe try to let him move around a little bit and create some of his own things. As far as defensively goes, you've just got to do a better job of boxing out Jacon Grimes. Easier said than done.
If you are Lejeune now, you have a 4-point lead and you've got 16 minutes. That's the only thing standing between you and a trip to Chapel Hill.
I don't think you change anything if you're Lejeune. I think you're playing exactly how you wanted. You got off to a slow start. The game is fitting your tempo right now. I don't think you really need to change anything. I think you need to keep getting the ball inside to the big guys, which they're going to do, to Eric and Grimes, and I think that's going to keep working. They got to keep up the defense. Chad Thomas has done a fantastic job at the guard position. Their guards have to remain active.
Chad Thomas, a guy that had a lot of pressure coming in, breaking the press. Now that those duties have been turned over to Jacon Grimes, he's much more comfortable breaking out and just taking off and trying to score.
Exactly, and he's doing a great job, as we talked about, a great finisher, which we've seen as something important. Everett hasn't been able to finish some on the break a few times, and that's something really important in high school basketball. Thomas doing a great job for Lejeune. He's got to keep it up, especially on the defensive end.
Well, the official score, I've just been handed something that says that Jacon Grimes has 10 points at the half. I said 12. I was wrong. He has 10 points. Other scores, we mentioned Collis Eric with 7. Chad Thomas has 6 points. And for Williamston, Daniel Everett with 7. Curtis Cofield with 4. You've got Roosevelt Freeman with 6, and then a host of players with 2. We talk so much about Daniel Everett, but if Williamston's going to win, they're going to have to get it from somebody else. Who do you think it's going to be?
I think they're going to have to look for some of the big guys, even though their big guys are not exactly how they want to play it. Coach Gilmore said before the game, if they have to rely on the big men, they're in trouble. But I think they're going to have to get some production out of them. The guards are going to need a little bit of help. You know, Coach Gilmore's team has 3 fantastic guards, led, of course, by Daniel Everett. But what they're going to have to do is get a way to free up a little bit. And the only way to do that is to get some help inside by guys like Cofield.
We are just a couple minutes away from getting started with second half action. Lejeune has a 4-point lead, 30-26. One of these teams just 16 minutes away from a trip to Chapel Hill. The winner moves on to play for the 1A state championship. Mike and I will have the play-by-play action of the second half. Right after you see this, you're watching exclusive coverage of the 1A Eastern Regional High School Championship on WCTI TV 12. We're getting ready to start the second half. Once again, the halftime report brought to you by Hastings Ford, where you always find your keys to satisfaction. 16 minutes away from a trip to Chapel Hill. Lejeune will now be moving from left to right. Williamston from right to left.
Chris, this Lejeune team lost a thriller last year, a 1-point loss to Mattamuskeet in the first round of the Eastern Regionals. Their whole goal was to get back, and now that they are back, they're not satisfied.
Immediately they go to down low to Colaseric. They turn it over. Here now, Daniel Everett. We'll see if Williamston has been able to come up with something to free this guy up a little bit. Mike, you mentioned getting him off the point, and he's off the point right now. But he's got to come back to get it.
Well, you made me look good for 10 seconds. I do appreciate it.
He runs the show. Outside 3 ball goes off the front of the rim. The tap is good. Knocking it in is Larry McEachron.
Chris, we talked about the fact that we need Williamston's going to need a little bit more help inside, and that's one example of it. They need the guys to pound the glass.
What a great steal by Daniel Everett, and then he knocks down the 3.
Well, we talked about Everett needing to get off the snide in the second half. He sure has. Great hands there.
He creates the steal, and he comes right back the other way.
He took that right out of Grimes' hands. This guy is just lightning.
A 4-point deficit is now a 1-point lead. The shot is missed. Chad Thomas with it.
What a great job by Thomas not to charge.
Nearly loses it, but now he collects it on the baseline. There's Colaseric. Right back the other way. 2-on-1. Great pass, and Freeman knocks it down.
Chris, when Colaseric and Jacon Grimes have wide open layups, they just cannot miss them. Those things are deadly, especially when Williamston can take it and go on the run.
A 7-0 run to open the third quarter, and a steal. We're going right back the other way. Daniel Everett. He'll pull up, and now the pass. What a play.
Wow. Timeout wanted by Doug Ernie, and I don't blame him. Daniel Everett is stolen the show here in the second half.
They've gone on a 9-0 run. We'll take a break. You're watching exclusive coverage of the 1A Eastern Regional High School Championship on TV 12. Coliseum. While we were away, the inbounds play from Lejeune goes long to Corey Price. He gets fouled, and he will go to the free throw line to shoot 2 shots. The first one off the front of the rim. Corey Price is averaging 9 points and 12 rebounds. So far, he just has 1 point, and Lejeune trails by 5, 35-30, and that's where it stays. Price misses them both. Daniel Everett will start the offense for the Williamston Tigers. The 5, great move down low.
McEachern's come off and bench and given a spark to Williamston. And boy, you talk about sparks. Is there any better spark than Daniel Everett? This guy has been phenomenal in the second half.
It is now an 11-0 run for Williamston.
Everett is just a junior, Chris, a phenomenal player. He can do it all.
Roosevelt Freeman thought about it and now swings it cross court. They go right down low to Cofield. What a move.
Well, we talked about getting inside, and that's exactly what Williamston's doing, and they're doing it with some sharp, crisp passing down low.
Chad Thomas breaks away, and the first basket of the second half for the Lejeune Devil Pups goes to Chad Thomas. They trail now by 7.
What a great start for Williamston here in the second half.
There goes Daniel Everett. He can't get it up over the big guy, but he gets the rebound. traveling with the basketball.
Jacon Grimes is having some handle problems here in the second half. He just can't pull those rebounds down. Getting his hands on it, but he's not being able to squeeze it in. The Williamston players are doing a great job of knocking the ball out of his hands.
Lejeune now with the basketball, and they certainly hope they have weathered the storm.
Look at Everett. He is unbelievable.
There's Collis Eric. Down low,
He
that's
walked.
Corey Price.
Good call by the officials there. He shuffled his feet in the paint.
5 minutes to go in this third quarter. Daniel Everett, who has made it happen for Williamston. Now to Freeman, and they swing it over to Anthony Slade. Back to Freeman, and they go right down low, and it's stolen away. There's Jacon Grimes, lead to Chad Thomas. Thomas has scored all 4 points for the Lejeune Devil Pups in the second half. They trail now by 5.
Chris, this third quarter started out much like the first, with Williamston off to the quick start, but Lejeune hanging in there.
Daniel Everett that time not getting back on defense, looked tired. Kind of catches breath now. They need this guy to play the entire second half.
I don't know why he'd be tired. They're used to running him up and down the floor.
The shot from Slade, a high shot, no. Rebound down low, thrown up, nothing. And there's Roosevelt. Freeman travels with the basketball.
McEachern has given this team a spark, though, Chris. He is in there battling against 2 big centers, or at least a power forward and a center for Lejeune, and Grimes and Eric.
That's the way to break the press for Lejeune. Get it to Jacon Grimes. It works. Mike, you're exactly right. This is starting just like the opening part of the game. A little bit bigger run for Williamston, but the same thing. They get off to the quick start. Now Lejeune is settled down. They're breaking the press, and they're right back in it. Oh, my, what a steal. Corey Price, 2-on-1. There's Chad Thomas. Corey Price follow, no, and then he fouled.
Did you see that rebound by Jacon Grimes? This guy's got Elmer's glue stuck to his hands. He didn't in the early part of the third quarter, but he is just an unbelievable player.
Corey Price will go to the free throw line.
Well, Chris, Lejeune has come back to make a 6-0 run after trailing by 7 here in the early part of the third quarter.
That foul was a big one on Roosevelt Freeman. That was his 4th foul. 3:34 to go in the third quarter, and Roosevelt Freeman has to sit down. Corey Price continues to struggle from the free throw line. He has now missed 3 straight free throws.
Chris, that's a big foul for more reasons than one. If Lejeune had a player in foul trouble, they go 10 deep. Williamston doesn't like to use more than 5 or 6 players in a game.
He missed another one. Back the other way, Williamston. There's Daniel Everett. Lead pass. Oh, what a nice play from Williamston. They can't convert, though.
McEachern is playing some great basketball down there, though. Williamston needs that.
Corey Price dribbles around 3 people. And there's Collis Eric. Uh-oh.
Boy, the crowd's in an uproar. They thought the Lejeune player got fouled. I might be inclined to agree with them. I heard some slapping down there.
Well, I think they have reason there.
Williamston's been shut out for the last 2.5 minutes of this third quarter, Chris.
Larry McEachern is now out top with Daniel Everett. Everett, cross court, great pass. The shot is missed, and there is Jacon Grimes. Slade missed the shot inside and then fouled.
A sarcastic cheer by the crowd as Grimes got fouled.
Anthony Slade picks up his 2nd foul, 3rd team foul. Lejeune will have it on the side. They finally get the ball in to Derek Williams, and now to Price.
Both teams haven't varied from their defenses. Williamston stayed in the man-to-man, and Lejeune in that matchup zone.
Williams is fouled on his way to the basket by Derek Williams.
As we take another look here down low, definitely the reach in by Everett. They do not want to get him in foul trouble. That's his 3rd, Chris.
Donnell Manson checks into the game. Chad Thomas goes out. And Lejeune is going big. 3 big guys, couple guards. There's Donnell Manson.
You know, as much as you don't want to rely on one player, and even though Jacon Grimes is a great player for Lejeune, you got to feel like Williamston would be in bigger trouble should they lose Everett. They want to keep him in the game.
And just like that, the lead is cut to 1. Lejeune right back in the basketball game. The outside shot, no good from Everett. Colasteric picks it out of midair. Price has done a nice job breaking the press, and he does again there. Colasteric, and right to Price.
Another steal, Chris, another steal.
Williams with the basketball, and it's stolen away by Daniel Everett.
That is just the spark that Williamston needed. They hadn't scored since the 5:45 mark of this quarter, which is a minute and 41 left. Everett is the catalyst.
Ollie Shepard picks up the foul. Lejeune had the lead for just a minute. Then Daniel Everett gets the steal, gives it right back to Williamston. Now Lejeune will have the basketball. 1:40 to go in the third quarter. A 1-point lead for Williamston.
Steve Gilmore wants the full court press. Here comes the pressure.
Corey Price, who has been able to break the press. Williamston has now put a guy on Jacon Grimes. It doesn't work. He breaks it, and Williams with the lay-in.
What a spark Derek Williams has done. Coming off the bench, scored a couple of quick buckets and creating some things. Gets a block there on Slade.
Slade throws up the air ball after the block, and look at Jacon Grimes, 6'8", running the break. Williams will try it again, not this time, but there is Grimes.
Williams has really provided a spark. He missed that shot, and Grimes put it back, but Williams has provided a major spark off the bench for this Lejeune team.
What a seesaw quarter this has been. It is now Lejeune with a 3-point lead.
It seems as if once one team finds the answer to the other comes back and answers them. Well coach game.
Cofield goes hard to the hole and gets the basket.
It's a chess match right now between Doug Ernie and Steve Gilmore.
Colasteric has it knocked away, but it's picked up Manson. Back to Eric. Nice pass to Price. One-point lead with 29 seconds. And now checking into the ball game for Lejeune for the first time, Mark Elliconic. Donnell Manson checks out. Elliconic into the basketball game, triggers the inbounds, and it's knocked away Slade. Chad Thomas picks it back up. Elliconic comes in firing. No good, there's Colasteric.
Boy, did they need that from Colasteric. He's been silent throughout this third quarter. They've really needed him to step up a little bit.
That's his first basket of the third quarter. And there's Daniel Everett. Oh, my.
He forced that one.
He gets it right back and finds Cofield underneath. They call a foul right as the quarter ends. So, and they say it was before the buzzer went.
Here it is.
Here's the play again. Underneath. Block looked clean up top. They got Colasteric down low with the foul. And we'll get to our break as soon as this Ollie Shepard, or Curtis Cofield, takes 2 free throws. 46-43 is your score. We'll go to the fourth quarter after Cofield takes that, and he got it. 2-point lead for Lejeune. We'll be back with more of the 1A Eastern Regional Championship on TV 12. Williamston has the basketball. Daniel Everett with the basket out top. Gets it right back. We're 8 minutes away from one of these teams heading to Chapel Hill unless we go into overtime.
This is what it's all about. A 2-point game, 1 quarter left to play. Both teams have made the adjustments. Now let's go play some ball.
With the basketball out top is Anthony Slade. Checking back into the basketball game for Williamston is Roosevelt Freeman. He'll go in the fourth quarter, and he gets the rebound. Follow right there.
That's a big play. Nobody boxed out Roosevelt Freeman. He's got 4 fouls. He comes in and does exactly what he needs to do, and there he goes again.
He's out of the basketball game. Boy, that's a big loss. We're tied at 46 with 7:17 to go in the fourth quarter. And Roosevelt Freeman has now fouled out of the basketball game.
Well, you got to question that play, but you got to understand it as well. He's a young man trying to make something happen in what's probably the biggest high school game of his career, biggest basketball game of his career. He just makes a nice play, trying to follow it up, but with 4 fouls, you can't do things like that.
Well, we're tied at 46, and we're waiting for Steve Gilmore to find someone to replace Roosevelt Freeman.
Chris, what a ball game. 46-46, 7:17 left to go. The 6th tie of the basketball game.
12 points for Roosevelt Freeman. He will check out. Chris Haller will check into the basketball game. Haller has been held to 2 points so far. You lose a guard, you go bigger with Haller into the basketball game. Jacon Grimes.
Chris, the way this game's gone, I wouldn't make a prediction on who's going to win at this point if my life depended on it.
Well, you're lucky it doesn't.
Yes, I am.
Here's Daniel Everett. Off the back of the rim, and here is Jacon Grimes.
Well, they need Daniel Everett, but they don't need him to force things. He's forced his last 2 shots.
Oh, what a play. Oh, what a play by Jacon Grimes. Gives off to Chad Thomas, and Thomas knocks it in.
That's a big turnaround. Everett forced the shot, and then Jacon Grimes and Lejeune took advantage of it. You can't force it. They've got to be smart right here.
Daniel Everett not afraid to let it fly. Anthony Slade is fouled.
Wow.
Anthony Slade has come in and gone hard to the basket, has really done a good job. A lot of pressure on him now,
I'd like to
especially
see
with
that
Freeman
play
out.
again there, Chris. Anthony Slade driving to the basket. Jacon Grimes. What a great shot by our cameraman, Brian Sibley.
Great job there, Sid.
I'll tell you what, that's a close call. I think it was a judgment call.
Anthony Slade has not scored yet. He's played pretty good basketball, good defensively, and has gone hard to the basket. Trying to get on the board, trying to pull his team to within 1. Got it. 6.5 minutes to go, a 1-point basketball game. Corey Price, who has not been scoring, but has done an effective job in breaking the press. It's not always pretty. And there's a turnover.
Williamston's going to need some production out of Chris Haller here. He's come in and relieved Roosevelt Freeman since he fouled out. They're really going to need some production from him at that 4 spot.
There's Anthony Slade.
What a beautiful shot there. Nothing but net.
That gives a 2-point lead. Here's Corey Price. He walks. They got the foul before the travel. And that should put Lejeune in the 1-and-1 as Corey Price breaks from the pack, and there's the foul from Anthony Slade. That's a good call. Lejeune will now be in the 1-and-1 for the rest of the basketball game. Corey Price will step to the free throw line where he has had plenty of problems knocking down free throws.
Just 3 fouls on Lejeune, 7 on Williamston. That's very important. As you just mentioned, the 1-and-1. Lejeune's going to be in the 1-and-1 for the rest of the game.
This could tie it.
As active as Williamston is on the court, fouls are very important, especially at this juncture.
With the basketball, Daniel Everett. He's got Anthony Slade. Also with him, Chris Haller, Larry McEachron.
They're trying to bring him out of that 3-2 zone again, Chris, trying to make Lejeune come out and play him, which they are to a certain extent. Thomas comes out.
Curtis Cofield is the 5th starter now for Williamston. They've got a 1-point lead. They can hang on to the basketball.
Chris, I just heard Doug Ernie say, hey, they can't hold it all night on us.
It is a 1-point lead for Williamston. And they are trying to get Lejeune out of the zone. Lejeune is trying to move it into a half-court trap. What's happening, though, is Chad Thomas is getting wore out.
Is this a Carolina-Maryland game from 1970s? In the 4 corners with 5 minutes to go.
Daniel Everett will take his time. We're now down to 5 minutes. And Lejeune has gone to the man-to-man, and Williamston will set the offense. There's Haller off the front of the rim.
I don't think that's the shot that they wanted right there. They spent all that time working for a good shot. A guy just coming off the bench taking a jump shot from the top of the free throw line. I don't think that's exactly the shot that they hoped for.
Haler, though, gets a break as Lejeune knocks it out of bounds. There's Daniel Everett. And he's got to love this. He's got somebody one-on-one. And that's what he can do with it.
Oh, that's a beautiful play by Everett. He just drives the paint, as you said, one-on-one. All of a sudden, two guys collapsed. He just made one little move, and he was free.
And there's the steal. All alone is Anthony Slade. The lead is 5 for Williamston.
This is a critical point in the game right now for Lejeune. If they can get their composure back and play the way they have been, they're in pretty good shape.
We're going to get a timeout, and Doug Ernie needs one. 4:13 to go. His team trails by 5. We're back with more high school basketball on TV 12 right after this. Basketball game coming to you from Minges Coliseum in Greenville, North Carolina.
Chris, I'm sorry.
54-49 your score. Williamston with the lead and the basketball.
Just when it looked like Lejeune was going to start pulling away, Williamston goes on an 8-1 run, and they look like they're in control. That was a good timeout by Doug Ernie. Let's see if he could rally the troops into calming down.
Slade gets it across. Now McEachern with the basketball. Gives back to Haler. And Williamston may be content to run a little clock. Cofield with it, and there's McEachern. No rush with a 5-point lead. And there's the guy that's made it happen, Daniel Everett. Slade was open down low. They missed him.
There's my unsung hero right there, McEachern. He's gotten his hands on a lot of loose balls, kept some things alive. I think he's been a big spark for Williamston in this game. You won't see it in the box score, but he's really impressed me.
And he's been a fresh player to help wear down Jacon Grimes.
And that's a name you haven't mentioned in a while, Chris.
Oh, great pass. There's your man, Mike.
I'm real impressed with him. He's really playing some great basketball, taking advantage. There he is again.
Gets called for the foul. McEachern.
We need to see that one again.
6 points in the second half for McEachern.
Here he comes. Yeah, he did get some hand. Good call by the referee. This is Williamston's biggest lead of the game, Chris.
3:17 to go and a 7-point lead. At the free throw line is Derek Williams for Lejeune. He'll have 1 and 1. These free throws are big.
This is what it's all about, isn't it? 3:17 away from a trip to Chapel Hill.
Williams now for the second. And the lead is 5. Williams tries for the steal. Everett gets away and gives off to Haler and right back to Everett.
You know, the good part about pressuring Everett is it can frustrate him a little bit, but the bad part is if you don't get it away from him, they're 5-on-4 with Everett having the ball.
Slade with it now. We are now under 3 minutes in the basketball game. And Williamston holding on to that 5-point lead, 56-51. Cofield gives it off to McEachern. Everett thought about it. No way. And now he's fouled by Corey Price.
This is exactly what Steve Gilmore wants. He's got a 3-point lead, 2.5 minutes left. He knows he's got some fantastic guards on his ball club. He's letting them carry the ball, trying to waste some time and trying to go to the free throw line. What a great situation for Williamston as far as Steve Gilmore is concerned. Now let's see what Lejeune can do to counteract that.
Doug Ernie takes Corey Price out, takes Chad Thomas out, and Derek Williams out. Brings in Mark Elikonic. Also checking into the basketball game, Antoine Holmes. And Antoine gets the foul.
Well, now Lejeune's got 2 fouls to give. Normally, you don't want to be in the 1-and-1 situation, but when you're trailing and the other team's wasting some time, this wouldn't be a bad time to start fouling some people.
Ron Benaghi also into the game, and that is certainly what they're here to do, and that's foul. That's a good call. That's a good move from Doug Ernie. You don't want your scorers to pick up fouls, yet you need to get some fouls on this team because 2:30 left, they're still not in the 1-and-1, and now Chad, Corey, and Derek will check back into the basketball game. The next foul will put Williamston on the free throw line.
Chris, it's time to go for your money, man, if you're Lejeune. You've got to get the ball back, and you got to work it into Jacan Grimes and let him carry you to the state championship game at this point.
Daniel Everett, they probably do not want. There's a guy they might want to foul. McEachern, they don't get him. Not looking to foul yet. Anthony Slade.
This is the first man-to-man we've seen from Lejeune tonight, Chris.
Gives it off. Anthony Slade will pull it back out. We're coming down on 2 minutes. The score the same, 56-51.
Back in the zone, the trap.
Boy, they get the defensive stop that they wanted.
Chris, that was all Chad Thomas. The pressure on the ball. Great job off the ball by the men that are trapping Chad Thomas. Forces the action there.
There's Chad Thomas. He's going to go all the way. Gives to Collis Eric. Foul.
Williamston does not want to foul right now. What they want is time to go off the clock. If they're going to foul their big men, I'm talking about Lejeune's big men. Lejeune gets a chance to go to the line, try to score a couple without any time running off the clock. That's exactly what Lejeune wants to do. Get it down quick, get it in the blocks, and hope to score or go to the free throw line without much time running off the clock. A 5-point game.
Collis Eric at the line for 2 shots.
Well, we talked about if the score was low, it would be in Lejeune's favor. It's a 56-51 game. This period, as a matter of fact, has been only 17 points scored combined, with Williamston scoring 12 of them. But Williamston's got the lead right now.
Eric misses them both. Williams with the score, and he's fouled. Derek Williams, all 5'10" of the junior, slips in there amongst the trees, gets the rebound, gets the basket, gets the foul. He'll step to the line to shoot 1 shot.
Oh, is that a big play? Derek Williams, one of the shortest guys on the court, has been a spark plug throughout the game for Lejeune. Been kind of silent for about a half a period, but he's come back to spark his team.
Knocked out of bounds, and they say that Williamston will have the basketball.
Doug Ernie thought it was out on Williamston, but Williamston gets the ball.
1:49 to go, and Lejeune has now extended into full court pressure defense. Cofield with it. Now Daniel Everett. Chris Haler.
I'd foul him.
.135 to go in the ball game. 3-point lead for Williamston, 56-53.
Well, if you're Williamston, you want to move it around and try to keep it in the hand of your best free throw shooters.
They get the foul there on Chris Haller, who banks it in. Certainly well after the foul.
Shows a little smile on that one. I didn't hear him call glass now. I heard it called early in the first half, but not that time. He knows it.
Stepping to the free throw line, Chris Haler. He has 2 points.
The 2 biggest free throws of Chris Haller's life right here, Chris. That is huge. Williamston wants to keep that differential at least 4. They can make it 5 right here with another free throw.
Second one too strong. Rebound, and
there's my man again.
Cofield pulls it away, or McEachern pulls it away. Daniel Everett, and now there's Cofield, and he's fouled.
McEachern once again doing the damage, Chris. That is a huge board. They get the ball back. Both teams now have 7 fouls apiece. As a matter of fact, now Lejeune has 8. But both teams in the bonus. McEachern has been the spark for Williamston. It's not going to show up in the box score, but he's been keeping the balls alive, and he's been getting some great defensive play in there for Williamston.
Cofield misses the free throw. Here comes Lejeune quickly. Chad Thomas goes through everybody. Timeout is called for Doug Ernie. 1:04 to play, 57-55. We'll keep it right here. Lejeune trails by 3, and Williamston will have the basketball. Mike, who do you foul? Who do you foul?
Who do I foul right now? That's a very tough question. I'll tell you what, I don't know if I would foul right away. It's a 2-point game. What I would do is take a page out of the Williamston book right now. I'd go for the full court press. That's what Doug Ernie wants to do. They got the basket, so now they can set something up, which is exactly what he's trying to do right now. They set up the full court press, and if they can pull a steal or a turnover, I don't foul yet.
104, that's a lot of time in high school basketball.
Oh, yeah.
57-55 your score. Lejeune has stayed in it, and you know, we go back to a couple minutes when Doug Ernie made the move to bring in 3 guys off the bench to do nothing but get into the foul limit. So now, any shot, any time it's a foul, it's a 1-on-1. It's a smart coaching move.
Both of these coaches have been outstanding. It's just been one adjustment after another, and they've both risen to the challenge. Right now, it's the way it should be. A 2-point game, let the players decide it. What a great game this has been.
Cofield will take the ball out of bounds. And there's Lejeune in a full court press. There's McEachern. They might want to foul him. They do.
Well, if he's truly my money man today, he's going to make these free throws, Chris.
McEachern will go to the free throw line. He scored 6 points in the second half, 8 total. Jacon Grimes called for the foul. That is his 4th foul.
Well, they're going to need Jacon Grimes in this ball game if they're going to be able to come back and win it. No question about it. Lejeune hasn't been a team that's dependent on the 3-point shooting. They're a half-court team that likes to work it inside to the big guys, Carlos Eric and Jacon Grimes.
That's missed badly. Oh, the rebound, guess who?
Wow, he is something. Just a junior, Chris.
Everett clears it out, gets the rebound against the big guys, and now we're under a minute to go. A 2-point lead. And it's knocked away. Chad Thomas out of bounds.
Daniel Everett has just been absolutely amazing. He can do it all. They want the ball in his hands as much as possible. And even when Lejeune has the ball, he's getting the ball in his hands. What a great player he's been.
Got to keep it away from Daniel Everett. And they get it right to him. Wanted the backcourt call, but not there. And turnover, no, and a foul. Anthony Slade will go to the free throw line. 40 seconds to go. Carlos Eric picks up the foul. That's his 2nd.
Well, Chris, the coaches are arguing that since it wasn't off a made basket or a timeout, that it shouldn't be a backcourt violation. They shouldn't have the advantage. The referees, however, disagree. I'll be honest with you, I don't know the ruling right offhand on that.
I don't either. I didn't want to be honest there. Big free throw. The lead is 3, 40 seconds to go. And Ray Parther will check into the basketball game for Lejeune, checking out Derek Williams. Your score 58-55, your time 40 seconds.
Boy, is that big.
The lead is now 4. There's Ray Parther, and he dribbles off his foot.
Chris, Lejeune went for the touchdown, the bomb. They couldn't work it out. Just checking into the game, Ray Parther bounced it off of his foot. That is big. Williamston can put the game away right here on the free throw line.
35 seconds to go. 59-55 is your score. And right back to the free throw line is Anthony Slade, and Steve Gilmore is 35 seconds away from a trip to Chapel Hill. Didn't get it this time, and there's the rebound. Cofield got it.
It's over now, Chris.
61-55, 27 seconds. Chad Thomas will go all the way, and it's blocked. Cofield. Jacon Grimes with the basket. Timeout call. 61-57, 18 seconds left in the basketball game, and Jacon Grimes gets the basket. He has scored unofficially just 4 points in the second half. He has been taken out of the basketball game.
That's definitely been the difference. Williamston has been able to do exactly what they wanted, especially in the third quarter. That big run that they had in the third quarter put them ahead, and they've been able to hold on. Right here, if you're Williamston, you don't want to foul. That's exactly what you don't want to do. Lejeune's going to try to foul somebody quick now.
18 seconds to go. They're going to have to foul quick and get some breaks. They trail by 4. Certainly possible. But if Williamston knocks down the free throw, then it becomes unlikely. Steve Gilmore, what a nice coaching job he's done. You've mentioned it earlier, Mike. Great coaching matchup today. These teams deserve to be there because of talent, but also because of coaching. These guys have done a good job.
Well, if you really love watching basketball and digging into the X and O's, you will enjoy this game. This two great coaches getting the most out of their players. That's been the key. Both of these coaches have gotten everything they can ask for out of these players. They've both made the necessary adjustments. It's been a beautiful game to watch.
Coming up after the basketball game, we will have our player of the game. Foul there on Corey Price. 16 seconds.
And I think if Lejeune wanted somebody to go to the free throw line, aside from Daniel Everett, the guy they'd least want to go is this guy, Anthony Slade. He just buried two big ones a few minutes ago.
We're thinking about a possible player of the game. We want to tell you now, players of the game, brought to you by Wilkerson Associates, Satellite Systems. Call 1-800-ORDER-TV.
I'll tell you who my player of the game is right now. Is that okay?
Give it a shot.
Daniel Everett, without a doubt, the catalyst.
He is the 1994 Wachovia Belk, North Carolina High School Athletic Association Eastern Regional All-Tournament MVP.
I got it right?
It's just been handed to me. He has been named the 1A Tournament MVP. Anthony Slade knocks down a free throw, so that certainly helps your case. 62-57, 16 seconds left in the basketball game. Got it again.
21, Mark Ellis.
Well, Doug Ernie trying to get a sub in there to set up his defense. Right now they got to hope for something quick, a steal, a three-pointer, and then some miracles.
Anthony Slade has come up with 10 points in the fourth quarter alone. Here's Derek Williams.
5 of those on the foul line, Chris.
Inside the line, doesn't get it. Chris Haller is hammered and will go to the free throw line. 7 seconds, and look at the celebration right there on the Williamston bench.
A championship basketball team can do it all, especially when the game is on the line. And on the line, Anthony Slade has buried 5 of 6 free throws down the stretch. And that is one reason why Williamston is going to be on a bus next week to Chapel Hill.
7 seconds left in the basketball game. And at the line, got the first one.
You know, talking about the great coaching job by Steve Gilmore, don't forget Roosevelt Freeman, one of his starters, fouled out of this game with about 8 minutes left to go, 7-8 minutes left to go. And he's inserted Chris Haller, and there he is on the free throw line.
Haller has done a good job. He doesn't get the second one. Got the first one. And, we got a lane violation on Lejeune.
Doug Ernie can't believe it.
And one more free throw now for Chris Haller. The Williamston bench.
We'll be talking so much about Williamston in the next few seconds, but let's take a second and talk about the great job Lejeune's done this season, Chris.
They've done a fantastic job. Certainly deserve to be here, and they will not go any farther. Congratulations to Williamston and Steve Gilmore, a 64-57 win. They are the 1A Eastern Regional Champions. They're on their way now to Chapel Hill. We'll be back with more from Minges Coliseum right after this. Joining me, Steve Gilmore, and congratulations, Coach. You're the 1A Eastern Regional Champions. It's got to feel pretty good.
Thank you. It really feels good. Because I think it's a good thing for Williamston to have something like this happen in a long time. They hadn't had a state championship since, I think it was 1977, and that was baseball. But I feel real good about it.
Now, our player of the game, Daniel Everett, cannot be here. Player of the game brought to you by Wilkerson Associates. Why can't Daniel be here?
Daniel, he's in a wedding. He's the best man in a wedding. And I got to shuttle him back to Williamston right at this time.
Daniel walked right off the court, right into a wedding. And, Coach, your team is celebrating a championship. We want to let you get to it. Any final thoughts on tonight's game?
Well, Lejeune played hard, and I knew it was going to be a tough battle, but we overcome it.
Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
Best of luck to you in Chapel Hill.
Thank you.
Steve Gilmore joining us live here, and we'll have more from Minges Coliseum right after this. The 1A state champions, they're the Williamston Tigers. We'll be back. Seeing the Williamston Tigers moving on to Chapel Hill. Great basketball game, Mike. It went just like we wanted. We had the great inside game, the great outside game for Williamston. but it may be a McEachern guy that you talked about that made the difference.
I was so impressed with him. As we just heard, he made the all-tournament team, McEachern did. He just did so many little things that we're not going to see in the box score. He got his hands on the loose balls. He fought on defense. He was able to make the key pass. He went to the free throw line. He did all the key things. And, you know, we thought that if Lejeune was going to keep this game in the 60s, they'd win it. I'm surprised they didn't with this score. A great job by a great Williamston team that has a great shot to win it all next week.
Daniel Everett, your tournament MVP, was not here to accept his plaque because he had to go to a wedding. Nonetheless, he's on his way to Chapel Hill next week to play for the 1A state championship. Daniel Everett, the player of the game once again. The player of the game brought to you by Wilkerson Associates Satellite System. Call this number for more information, 1-800-ORDER-TV. Congratulations to Daniel Everett, the Williamston Tigers, and also the Lejeune Devil Pups. A great effort. Well, we're all done here from Minges Coliseum. A great day of high school basketball. For Mike Small, I'm Chris Justice. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again.